Okay, hi everybody. We are going to get started on January Club Q instructional video. And the kit we'll be working on right now is called Merry and Bright. And before we get started, I wanted to show you what is coming up for the month of February so that you can have a little sneak peek here. It will be on the website as well for you to check out. But for February, we have a brand new paper. Some beautiful purples and blues and grays. And this is the second one for February. So if you are thinking about signing up for Club Q, this would be a good month to do it. You get brand new papers. These kits are exclusive to Club Q for at least 3 months, so you'll be the first ones to get your hands on them. If you sign up for Club Q, you also get a free starter kit as well. So more than just the kits each month, you will get a paper pack. In your first kit, you'll also get a starter kit and all kinds of stuff. So for January, we are going to get the instructional video started, and we're going to start with the Be Bright, Be Happy, Be You kit. And the first thing you want to do is punch out all of your die cuts. So there's lots of different die cuts in there. And I'm going to get the background papers, and we'll do our cutting diagrams first. So in your instructions, you'll have a cutting diagram that looks like this. So we'll find these two papers to cut. But as you can see here, I have all of my die cuts punched out. And if you need time to do that, just hit pause. That's the beauty of having a video, is that you can just hit pause and get going again whenever you are ready. So let's find these two papers that we are going to use our cutting diagram on. And we have one that has stars here in the corner, one that has, it's kind of speckled, and then it has a script across it. Those are the two we are going to do for our cutting diagrams. We'll start with the star paper. And as you can see, that one, there's actually kind of a specific spot that you have to put it. Usually it's just that you cut the corner off. And if you want to, you definitely can, because the rest of this paper, it right here, is all extras. We're making a photo backer so that it matches the one that is on the paper here, or on the page here, but you definitely don't have to have it cut right in that exact position because you have lots of extra paper. And once you get a photo on here, most of this is going to be covered up anyway. So wherever you want to cut it out of the paper, but I'm going to try and cut it like this diagram says. So there's a star up in the right-hand corner and one in the bottom left. And what I am going to do is turn my paper so that we have, so it would be like this. And I am going to cut at about, I don't know, a little, probably about 2 inches up. And I am going to trim that bottom piece off at 2 inches. So this is just extra paper, just set that aside. And then I'm going to, this is going to be 4.5 by 6.5. So I'm going to move up and cut it at 4.5. Just like that. And then we want to turn it so that this is 6.5. So go ahead and turn your paper so that the star here is on the left, and you cut at 6.5. So that gives you a 4.5 and a 6.5 for page 1. I'm going to set that aside. This is just extra, so I moved that out of your way so it doesn't get confusing. And then your pieces on the top here come out of this last piece, and they need to be 3.5 inches long. So I am going to turn this, and really, again, you can cut at either side. I'm actually, to get them exactly like it is on here, I'm going to turn it this way, put it in at 3.5 inches, and trim across. Extra piece, get that out of your way. And then to make the 3.5 by 2 3/4, I'm going to turn this and cut at 2 3/4. One, move it up to 2 3/4 again, and then 2 3/4 again. This is an extra piece. So some of these pieces are really good to hang on to use for another page. These ones we will be using on the kit. So set those up top, and then we are going to get our script piece of paper, and you can see here we want 2 5x7s and then a strip 3.5 by 12. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to cut this 3.5 inch strip off the right side. Oh, actually, no. It's easier for me if I do the 5x7. So what I'm going to do is put this in. I'm going to cut it at the 7-inch mark and then cut that into 2 5x7s. So put it in, cut it at the 7-inch mark. And then I will turn it, cut it at 5 and 5 again. And that will give you 2 5x7s. Leftover piece, you move that out of the way. And then your piece that came off of the right side, we're just going to trim that to 3.5 inches so that you have this piece here. 3.5 inches. Okay, and we have the cutting diagrams all done. We try to make those pretty simple to follow. Now we're going to get our background pages. So for those of you that have been a Club Q member for a while, I also wanted to mention, I meant to mention on the last video, but we would love to see your finished projects. I know that some of you are far behind, you haven't opened some of the kits or put pictures in them, but I would still love to see them. So if you wanted to, you could get onto our Facebook page and post them on there and let people know that they're from Club Q. We would love that. Okay, so we have our 2 background pages, and we'll just work on page 1 for right now. But these are the 2 background pages you need. I'm going to move one into the middle here, and I'm hoping that's lining up with the camera. I'll check here. Move it up a little bit. Okay. All right, then we will get started. You'll want to keep your directions out next to you. I know it's easy to follow the instructions on the video, but sometimes if you just have your instructions next to you so that you can glance at it, it makes it really easy. So we're going to work on page 1 here. Okay, get these a little organized. So to begin with, we will start with the strip that we just cut, the 3.5 inch strip that we just cut, and that is going to go almost 2 inches up from the bottom. This does not have to be exact. In the instructions, it actually says like 1 5/8 or something like that, but it's almost 2 inches from the bottom. You don't have to be exact. We're going to glue that down straight across. From our die cuts, we have 2 strips. And again, or I don't know if I mentioned this in the beginning, but chalk these up as you go, or you can hit pause on the video, chalk all the pieces up that you want, and then start putting it together. I actually have, I think this one suggests, so on all of our kits we always suggest which inks we used, but there's way more colors that would actually match this kit as well. We suggested Aqua and River Rock, but Coal Miner would work, Feather Gray, our new mint color, winter mint, I think it's called, or taffy. Lots of different colors that would match this one for sure. I actually have, let's see, I have Babbling Brook. So that's really kind of a soft green. So go ahead and chalk these up as you go, or you can hit pause and just chalk all your pieces up before you put anything down. You can see here, I just kind of run it along the edge. And it just gives that little soft, chalky look. Oops, I was using a brown color earlier, so it's all over my hands. My nails are different colors, but this Babbling Brook looks really nice on there. Okay, so then your 2 1/2-inch strips that are from your laser cut, they go flush with the top and the bottom of this strip. Next we have, which I accidentally tore it apart because I got it caught under something. We have our peach colored strip that goes just under that. And I'm not gluing all my pieces down. I just want to show you where they go. You can go ahead and adhere them if you want. And a lot of times what I do is I get my pieces where I want them, and then I go back in and I glue everything down. Okay, so after that, we have the 3 pieces that we cut out of the cutting diagram with the stars on it. And these can go in any order you like, but 1 inch in from the right side, this is where these little photo backers are going to go. And again, chalk that up if you would like. I'm going to use, this is a new color, Black Licorice, and it is a dark black color, but it has just a hint of blue and green in it. And I just think it's really pretty with this paper line. And if you want a softer look, you can use like Feather Gray, River Rock like it was suggested. So totally up to you. I also have here Coal Miner. So this is like a dark gray. This one is really similar to the stars that are on here. And you probably won't use a whole bunch of different colors on yours. I just want to show you what your options are and what they look like on there. So Coal Miner looks really nice too and kind of soft. And I'll do the last one in Babbling Brook so you can see that one on there as well. My Babbling Brook is well used. It's a soft color anyway, but I think I've had this one out for probably a year. Might be time to switch it out. Okay, so when you put these down, you want to have a little more space on the right side here. So you just come in about 1 inch and then space these out about 1/4 of an inch apart so that it leaves some room for your stars over here. Okay, in your packet, you had a pre-cut white piece of paper. It's about, let's see, 3 by 5. This is going to go right over that star. One of your 5 by 7s that you cut out of your cutting diagram is going to go here. And you also had a sheet with words on it, and you'll want to cut all of those apart in there and then distribute those evenly. And I usually start at top and bottom, and then I center the one in the middle. So all of these pieces, these will be used on page 2, but these all get cut out separately. Okay, so this is a really quick kit, easy to put together, but I like it because it looks kind of layered and busy because of the paper. It looks like it has a lot on it. Your star paper that you cut out of the middle of the cutting diagram. That gets adhered right onto the back of that. And then out of your die cuts, you want to hang on to the circle because it will be used on the second page, but you want to punch out your little tabs. And these won't get glued to your page until you have a picture here. This just goes kind of at the bottom of your picture, but I'm going to just lay them out for now so you can see where they go. You can put these together and then add them to your page after you have a picture in there. So it's the peach larger banners with white over top, and those I actually, on the sample, I used aqua to chalk those because that's a really pretty color that matches with it. This Babbling Brook would work as well, or any of the colors that I mentioned down here. And then you have 3 stars that all have little score lines in them. They're all brown. They're this color on the other side. So if you're missing them, make sure you look for that size or that print as well, because a lot of times they feel it gets lost in the mix, but if you flip them over, you can see that they're all brown. And these, there are score marks. So what I do is I fold to the points. And then these ones just kind of automatically fold in the center, the shorter ones. And to get these to stay on your page so that they are a little more three-dimensional, a lot of times I'll put either a glue dot or a like a pop dot, a small pop dot right in the middle, and those will adhere it on. If you don't have that, then you can use a glue pin, and you can just put a little adhesive at each corner, and then you can press the corners down. But if you have a pop dot or a glue dot, that works too. You can see here, it also works if you just glue the corners down. And it still has a little bit of a three-dimensional look to it. But pop dots and glue dots make it really easy to kind of pop off the page a little bit. Okay, and so we have the stars that you have left. Oops, I can't get it off of here. Okay, the stars that you have left are one large one, a medium, and then a smaller one. The smaller one is what we're going to use on this page. The other 2 go on page 2. And then we are also going to use the 2 smallest white stars for this page. So there's one larger star, and that is going to go on page 2. So for now, again, I'm going to fold these. What's kind of fun with this crease on here too is that you can chalk that up so that there's a different color on the crease. And I'll show you that because it really stands out on the white. And then again, put a little pop dot, glue dot there. And that goes almost an inch up from your script, bottom of your script paper, from your white strip there. And I'll show you on this white one, you can add some color to it. Get the creases popped out. Okay, so once you do that, I'm going to take, let's see, I'm going to take the Babbling Brook, and I'm just going to run it right over those creases that are kind of popped up there. And if it gets on the star or some, that's fine. Just gives it a little more character. Fold that one a little more. So you can see it gives it kind of a fun look on the creases there. So this one goes here with a little pop dot. This one will use a little bit darker color, just a little harder on the small ones because the dark colors show up wherever you touch it. Whereas the Babbling Brook is a little softer, easier to kind of hide. So I just love that new black licorice color. A little bit of green in it. Okay, and then that one will go here. So from there, you'll want to take one of your, these are really delicate, so when you punch these out, you want to be really, we try to make very small notches so that they're easy to punch out, but they kind of get tangled together after you get them out. So I have them all spread out on my table so they're not hooking each other and getting caught. So you want one that faces this way, and this you'll have to use your glue pen to hold them down. So that's one large one going this way, and then one smaller one going this way. And then your first page is done. As soon as you get pictures on it, fold that one and put it on. Super easy for your first page. Now we will move on to the second page. On the second page, we will have, I'm just going to scoot this down a little bit. Make sure it's still in the, okay, and then we'll work right here. So on your second page, the background is the same. Pull that background out. And we will start layering this on as well. So your circle that you saved, your peach circle, you want to make sure it goes on your page about 1.25 inches from the top, but centered in the middle. So 1.25 inches from the top and then centered in the middle, and we'll just start layering from there. This is your 5x7 that you cut out of your diagram. And you have a tag. You have a tag out of your die cut. Your little journaling sheet that you cut out of your word sheet, that gets glued on to your tag. And again, chalk these up, stop and take a minute if you need to chalk things up. And I'll show you in a minute. We'll put the buttons all on at one time. I know there's buttons on this page too, but I'll show you what I did to give it some color. And this one we will have, so in the instructions you can see on the page, we put some script paper behind this just so you could see well what the kit looks like. It's hard when you don't have something behind it because it looks really busy right here, but you will have photos behind this. Instead of that script paper, this is meant for photos. So this is just open on my sample here. So where that script paper is inside these two frames, you'll just add a photo. And those two papers aren't in there because you would never see it anyway once you add your photo. So once you do add your photos, your circle goes here, the square just towards the bottom of your 5x7. And your 5x7, you need to have it about 1 inch from the left side of the page and about 1.5 inches from the top of your circle, just so you can see how I have that lined up, and it's going to cover up the empty banner holes from behind that. Next, we have our saying that's going to go right at the bottom of your circle and then just to the right of your square. And then it ends up being about 1/2 inch from the right side of the page. And then you have your stars like we talked about earlier. Go ahead and chalk those up. And that one, the white one goes just so it barely touches, just barely overlaps the 5x7. And again, the easiest way to attach these are glue dots. This one goes just slightly, and you can adjust these if you need to so that it doesn't cover up a lot of your pictures. Use some glue pin on the back. This gets tucked underneath. Smaller one. Here. And this, it makes it really easy if you just look at your instruction sheet and you can kind of place them so you have it like on your instructions sheet. Oh, and you know what? I have my paper turned a little bit different from what I had in the sample, which is fine. It works out just fine. I have in the kit turned so that the star shows at the top. This is one reason I don't glue anything down until I have everything where I want it so that I can adjust if I need to. So if you want to change your background up and turn it, you definitely can. And the last thing that goes on here before our buttons is this last star. And the last two little swirls go here. And again, adjust those to wherever you feel you like them. Okay, your little buttons, our embellishments always come in little bags like this so that they don't get lost in the mix of your kit. But I want to show you what I did. So the buttons in the instructions, they look aqua colored, which I used an aqua powder puff chalking ink. Right now, I'm actually going to use the new black licorice. And what I did was I just set my black licorice down like this. And I hang on to my button and I just rub it a little bit back and forth, back and forth. You don't want to press too hard because then it'll get in the middle of your button. And then I set these aside and let them dry for a few minutes. If they're still not completely dry, just because they are, it takes longer to dry than on paper. Just set them aside, let them dry for a few minutes, but you can still put them on your page if they're not completely dry. The powder puffs dry almost instantly on paper. It takes a little longer on wood. But yeah, that's how you get that color. And then we just glued it. There is a hole in this tag if you want to use that for ribbon. But otherwise, we have buttons that will go at the top there. So use whatever color works for you. I'm really liking this black licorice. Apparently when I made the kit, I liked aqua. Changes every day, I guess. And there you have it. Page 1 is complete. So I hope you enjoyed the Club Q kit this month. I love this paper. Hope you did too. And thanks for being a Club Q member.